Hello, this is Pastor Jacoby, and this is your Tuesday Spiritual Taco, Hard Truth Part 4. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says this: For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. If you ever read that text, there's this a big list of a time for. And the issue that we run into is that Solomon, who they believe wrote those without any context, any motives at all. And so the hard truth is that when you read those things, we read and go, well, I don't really get this. How is there a time for this? And I don't really get this. A time for this, right? Some of us have those questions. But the thing is that if we go through life long enough, as my mom used to say, if you live long enough, you'll have some stories to tell. You can begin to understand that you have lived some of those things out already. And the issue is that sometimes when we are living these things out, we refuse or we forget to put God in the mix of those situations. Like one of those situations, a time for mourning. Time for mourning is rough, but it's even tougher if you don't have God in your life. There's a time to cry, a time to cry. It's rough, but you know what? You can turn a bad cry into a good cry because with God, there is hope in your tragic situations. There's a time to kill, which is a weird thing to think about. But with God in your life, you can begin to kill off the things that are unlike Him and begin to birth things that are like Him in your life. You can begin to kill off the things in your life that cause you to fall and stumble and puts you in a repetitious form of generational curses or generational bad decisions and begin to throw stones and collect stones that are of good intentions and godliness, things that change you and are able to edify the kingdom of God. So when Solomon says, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, for us, the people who are believers in God, that is a good indication that when we read this list, that we're going to have to make a commitment to ourselves to say, no matter which point of this I'm in, I'm going to pray before I proceed. I'm going to give God the context of this because some of those times in our lives are out of our control. We don't want to walk into a lot of those things, but if we walk in knowing that God has a plan to prosper us, wow, we can walk into some dark places with some light. If we understand that we're here and our lives are dedicated to the edification of God's kingdom, man, what we go through may not be the best thing ever, but there's a reason for that. And once we understand the reason that we're going through it is because God gets the glory and other people may get saved, that changes the context. I pray that you ate. This is your Tuesday Spiritual Taco, and I pray you ate well.